Hey guys, Zach here with ZEM Construction bringing you another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I built out this really nice custom walk-in closet. I did it affordably, but also efficiently. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to talk about the costs and everything associated and why I chose the materials and methods that I did. And maybe you can get an idea on what will work best for you for your own walk-in closet. But let's get into the video. All right guys, before we get going, I wanted to go over a little bit of my design process with the space that I'm dealing with, maybe give you as an idea on how you want to design your own space. So this is a entire basement finishing job that we got going on, and the closet is just a small piece of that. So real quick, I got my whiteboard out here. I'm gonna show you what I was thinking, what I want to do as far as the design in here. So these are the dimensions: 126 inches on this back wall, 79 over here, 35 on a little bump out, and then these are actually the doorways. So I need to design something based on what I want to do. So first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a toe kick all the way around the entire perimeter, and this is going to be the main area of the closet. So one of the things I wanted to definitely keep in mind is this back wall is pretty short, so I want these closet rods and this divider to go all the way along the back wall. We're going to do closet rods on the sides here, and then drawers and shelves and stuff inside there. This longer section here, I have the option, because this is short and this is short, I want to add a closet hanging rod with shelves and stuff there. And then because this is so long, I have the option to bring these forward, so these will all die behind the hangers will go behind all these rods, and then I have plenty of room for even more rods and more shelves throughout here. And then on this side, some more. This side, I think I want to do some smaller drawers here. These are going to have some bigger drawers. These ones are going to be smaller, again, for more closet rods. So one of the things you definitely need to think about is your corners and how you're going to design those. You could definitely do some wraparound thing or some shelving or some different solutions. This, I wanted to maximize the closet hanging space that we have. Even though we might not be able to access those that easy, they might be great for like seasonal items that we want to keep hung up. So this is kind of what we were thinking, but now we got to get to work. All right guys, so for right now, my plan is to build a toe kick. So this room from one side to the other was actually almost a full inch out of level. Obviously you're not going to build any shelves or closets or cabinets or anything on something like that. So I wanted to build a quick, crude toe kick. I just screwed these 2x4s right into the studs all the way around, and then I have 12 inches from front to back with blocking and shims and stuff just holding it up. It's not going to support a ton of weight, but I did want to give myself a nice plane to work with. The boards I'm going to use are 16 inches, so there is going to be about a 4-inch overhang, room for a nice decorative toe kick. Okay, so just using some scrap 2x4s that we had left over from all of the framing, I'm going to build out this toe kick. As you can see, I'm just using blocks to hold it up in different places, screwing everything together, using a laser to make sure that we are completely flat all the way around. I did not use treated wood. The underlayment for the flooring actually wrapped underneath, so I was not worried about moisture in this case. I think the underlayment will do just fine. Getting these last blocks in there, trying to make sure everything is perfectly flat and ready to go. All right, so what I'm doing here, I'm setting up a little cut station. I'm about to cut 25 of these boards, maybe more than that, to do shelves and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm completely flat, not level. I am using the level as a straight edge, but I'm just making sure that these extensions are in plane with the saw so that I can easily slide back and forth. The other thing is that this saw cuts to about 15 1/4, and I need 16-inch cuts. So I'm going to lift the board up into the blade in order to get the full cut all the way through. I also got a 90 tooth blade in order to minimize as much chipping as I can on the melamine. Melamine is a great product, but it is notorious for chipping. So hopefully with the nice high tooth blade and using blue tape, I can completely eliminate chipping altogether, which on this first test cut, went pretty well. And I'm not worried if I ding up this drywall a little bit there. Most of it is going to be covered up one way or the other. Look at that, nice tight fit. Beautiful. Okay. All right, guys, so I have all the tops and bottoms cut over here for all of the cabinets, we're calling them. So I also made a little jig. I measured a couple of the holes in reference to the top, and there's a ton of chip out. So I decided I'm gonna recut all of these side walls myself. So I made this little jig that references the top 2 pinholes, and then I can mark it and cut it exactly to that, and then all of them will be the exact same height, so then I can measure down the 72 inches that I'm gonna go down. I also made myself a little jig so I can cut these by myself and I don't need a helper. Okay, I'm going through getting all 14 of those uprights cut, using that jig to make sure that the top holes line up perfectly with the top of the upright. This will make all the rest of the holes level, so now anywhere we put a shelf, it's gonna be level all the way around the entire room. All right, guys, so everything is all cut now. Got all the pieces cut for the main cabinet carcasses. So now to assemble, I want to show you guys real quick. I made 2 of these little jigs. I cut them perfectly square on my miter saw, and then just took a Forstner bit through there real fast. I got these little clamps, which is going to be perfect. So when these are sitting on the ground and balancing, I can pretty quickly just set these up perfectly square on the ground, and then they won't fall. And if I don't tighten them too tight, I can actually adjust them. And I'm also going to be using shims to bring these up to level and plane, and then I can screw those in. All right, going through and getting everything assembled now that we have everything all cut. I'm using a pre-drill bit that's going to recess the screw heads just a little bit, and then I'm going back and forth between 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch screws, just depending on the application that I felt like would work best. This one is actually the box that's going to go along the back panel, so actually assemble it here and take it all apart and then reassemble it in place so that it was easy to install and not being up the walls too badly. We stand it up and then go through and add the top later. All right, guys, real quick, I am going to show you how to do some edge banding on these. So as you can see, all of these come with one side that is factory edge banded. There's going to be a couple spots in this closet where the end grain is going to show, and so I wanted to dress that up, make it look nice, of course. So I picked up some of this edge banding. You can get it at your big box store, and then an iron, get some blue tape, and a little bit of sandpaper. I have a sanding sponge. Stuff is pretty cool. It's heat activated, so what I do is I just get it close and actually just tear it with my fingers, a little bit bigger than what you actually need. And then a trick I found with some tape is you just tape the middle. So you don't need to tape the whole thing. And I'll show you why here in a second. So that's pretty lined up, but now because it's just in the middle, you have some freedom as far as rotation. Of course, make sure your iron is nice and heated up. Line it up. What's cool is you do have a little bit of wiggle room. They make these slightly oversized. Once you get it started, you can actually pull the tape off and then just work your way down the whole thing. Like I said, it's a little bit bigger, so it doesn't need to be too precise. And it does not take much Now what I like to do, the directions say to use a roller to roll it on, which is probably a good idea, but I don't have one. So I actually just lightly round the corner over a little bit with the iron just to get the glue to go all the way around. And once that is set up, you can actually, especially now that it's still warm, you just kind of crease it over and it will bend, just break off. And because the way we did that, it kind of leaves a little bit of overhang on all the sides. Take your sanding sponge, just very lightly. And hit that corner. And I think that actually looks better than factory here on the corner. So there were only 2 spots in the entire closet that actually needed the edge banding. This is one of them. This one is going to have the end exposed, and that's also a reason I had this leg being a little bit longer. Because the end is exposed, I decided to bring that one all the way down to the ground as opposed to having another spot where edge banding is needed. And almost all of these are installed. The big one on the side, the one in the back, and then now sliding this one into place. As you can see, it meshes with the floor really nicely. And then this is the last one. This side will also be exposed. Using the jigs, going through, getting everything hooked together. Screws, those clamps came in really handy. I did have to use some shims like I mentioned earlier. This floor wasn't perfectly flat and the product was a little bit off here and there, maybe an 1/8 inch or so. So getting the fronts to be in plane and then screwing everything together worked well. The upright was actually going to be too long, the one that I'm putting in here now. It would not have fit through the door, so I actually put in all of them except that one and then went back and added that one later. Putting on the little covers, just cover up the screw heads that are exposed, and then going through with my level and getting everything square and plumb as best as I possibly can. This did turn out pretty well. Having all of the tops and bottoms pre-cut did. So all of these cabinets, these frames are all in, everything is solid, everything is plumb and square and level as best as I can get it. I'm actually really pleased. We only have a little bit of gaps in some places, but overall everything lined up really well. Now you can kind of see the vision where the outlets have landed. So next we're actually going to I'm going to put like a permanent shelf in between here that will help out with some rigidity. And then all 3 of these bays are all going to get drawers as well, so for even more storage. Then after that is closet rods. So some are getting rods and then some are also getting shelves. I've made all of these have the holes in them so we can completely adjust the shelves and change out rods and add rods, those types of things. So yeah, that's that. All right, now that everything is all plumb and level and ready to go, I went through and marked the heights for all the drawers and the heights for all of the closet rods. I wanted everything to be at the same height all the way around the entire room. I felt like that was a really crucial design aspect of it. I'm going through now, putting those closet flanges on, and then getting the drawers installed. There's only holes on the insides where the adjustable shelves go. There's not holes where the drawers are actually going. So I didn't have holes to reference as far as heights. So adding those marks was really crucial to making sure they're all the same height. Okay guys, one of the things that was really helpful is I made this jig. I thought it would be helpful to somebody else to kind of see what I was doing, what I was thinking. So it has 3 main reference holes on it. These 2 are for the drawer slides, and this one is for the closet rods. So I was able to, anywhere that I wanted a drawer, I was able to make my 2 holes. They're absolutely perfect. I used the laser to establish a height all the way around the room, so visually they look really nice. And then this last one is for the bottom screw on all of these rod holders. So I was able to reference the top, reference the face, drill a hole really fast, so installing those went really quickly, and everything is exactly the same, so all the way around the room. It'll look really nice. Those first 2 drawers that you saw, I actually built those beforehand so that I could make sure that the dimensions of all of the uprights were in the correct places. After those 2 were built, I moved on and got everything else installed, but still needed to come back and build and install all of those drawers. With the jig that I used, and I just showed you guys, I was able to install those really quickly. After the top drawer is installed, I actually used that as a reference with some spacers in order to install the top permanent shelf. as you can see I'm doing right here, just pre-drilled into the sides, ran some nice long screws, and then covered the screw heads with nice little white caps. These I did make adjustable. I actually took and drilled all the way through into the cabinet so I could install the pins for adjustable shelves. Now here I am getting the closet rods prepped so that I can go through and get those installed. I was able to get everything cut from 4 different rods, which I thought was pretty good. They kept my costs down and I had very little waste at the end, so I was as efficient as I possibly could be. Getting those all put in now, and we're basically on the home stretch. Just get some last minute drawers in. The drawer handles needed to go. That is my lovely wife. She is helping me out, just getting everything cleaned up and ready to go so we can get things moved in. We did have to get a little creative. The screws did not work, the ones that came with the handle. These drawers, the faces on them are a little bit thinner. So I actually had to go through and clip all of the screws off of these handles, but that was not that big a deal. All right, guys, we are all wrapped up on this custom walk-in closet build. Before we get all the clothes and everything moved in here, I wanted to give you a quick little walkthrough, show you everything that we chose to do. So of course, this is built for individual people. So this person wanted some hanging, but also some adjustable shelves for shoes and boots and things like that on both sides. Then drawers here for different items. And then this is a fixed shelf. This is kind of more to act like a countertop, things that can sit here long term. In the blind corner areas, we decided to do a double hanging rod. So maybe things that aren't as easily accessible, maybe seasonal clothes, things like that. And then of course, all of these countertop areas have outlets with USB charging options, charge headphones, different electronics, things like that. And the person on this side, they like most of their clothes to be hung up. So we did 4 hanging rods for them. Of course, another countertop, some more drawers. And then this person also has the option for long hanging items like dresses and those types of things with another shelf for shoes. And then of course, all the way around, there's a shelf completely open. So that is the option to do baskets and folded items, different storage things like that. All right, guys, as you can see, we are pretty much moved in. We are definitely still figuring out where we're gonna put everything and some of the solutions that we're gonna go with. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I wanna quickly go over the costs associated with the methods and materials that I chose. So real fast, I'm gonna put some numbers on the screen for you guys as well. So I actually got 9 of these solid melamine shelves. Those were priced at 29 bucks each, so that's $261 for all 9 of those. I got 14 of these ones that have the holes in them are $32, so $462 for the 14 of those. For these drawers, I got 3 of the more narrow ones, and I got 6 of the bigger ones. These are actually part of a bigger system that you can get. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. The 3 drawers are, the small drawers are $65 a piece, so $195. The big ones are $75 a piece, so with all 6, it was $450 for those. I got 4 10-foot closet rods that I actually cut up myself. Those are $28 a piece, so $112. And then I had to get 11 of these flanges to mount the closet rods in. Those are $9 a piece, so $99 for all of those. And then I also added $25 for miscellaneous things like screws, the covers, glue, you know, those types of things, 2x4s for the toe kick. And I was at a grand total of $1,604. So that is the cost of what I spent on all the materials. Obviously, it's a little bit different because I am a general contractor. I have a lot of the tools and things that I need that I didn't have to purchase. So if you don't have a lot of tools, you have to think about that as far as your costs associated. So one of the things that you could do to make this even cheaper if you wanted to, so as opposed to buying these 16-inch pre-cut shelves, one of the things you could do very, very easily would be to buy the full 4x8 sheets of the melamine, cut those down yourself with a track saw or a circular saw and a nice blade, and make your own track so that your cuts are nice and true. And then, like I showed in the video, the iron-on edge banding, you could actually add that on all of the shelves and the uprights yourself. So that would cut down on cost significantly. You could use square, circular saw to make all of your cuts. Then the opposite way you could go, if you wanted to do it even more quickly and not as labor intensive and spend more money, you could use the systems that these drawers actually come with, where they have the full systems pre-cut, ready to go, and all you need to do is put it together and put it up on the walls. So depending on your goals, whether that's speed, efficiency, or a balance in between like me, you have a lot of different options that you could go with. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative. I have some other videos on my channel of some remodels and those types of things. If this stuff interests you at all, please subscribe to the channel. If this video was informative, it helped you out at all, please drop a like. If you have any questions, please throw them down in the comments section below. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you later.